So before I do anything, let me just, fucking hell. And now you can stop telling us about it. And if you clicked on the video, you know what that thing is. So let's talk about it. So yeah, we have today the preview for the 7-year anniversary, but it contains something a bit more special than that, and I'm going to focus on that mainly, which once again you would know if you clicked on the video. So I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm not going to do the usual read verbatim thing. It's not particularly useful when it comes to these events. We know what they are for the most part, so I'll just guide you through it. Tell you what you need to know. Look, the truth is, these kind of videos, they're really just for people who want to stay on top of what's going on with Deep Rock, but don't know that Ghost Ship have a YouTube channel. So I'll link Ghost Ship's YouTube channel in the description. Just follow them, just subscribe to them. Anyway, but let's talk about the 7-year anniversary and what else is coming along with it. New DLC armor, there you go, an exclusive hat, XP bonuses, and more coming February 27th. So yeah. It's the 7-year anniversary event. It's going to be starting on February 17th at 13 o'clock Central Eastern Time. Or for us, that's 12 GMT. So that's 12 Greenwich Mean Time. And will run for 2 weeks. So that will go until the 13th of March, same time, wherever you are. So, but it starts off with a preview of the DLC that they're adding in this anniversary. And I don't know if this really means this, but this feels like it confirms that they're just going to do something for the DLC, for the anniversary every year, you know? I know technically the 5th year is like special, right? But I'm pretty sure the 3rd year and the 2nd year are like the only ones that... The 4th and the 2nd year are the only ones that didn't get any kind of recognition, you know? 1st year is the 1st year, you know? 3rd year we got Scale Brigade, 5th year we got Supporter 2, 6th year we got the Mark 5 armor, which is of course... Mark 6 armor, sorry, which of course was added in Season 5, but was added early as well in the anniversary. And this time we get a whole DLC again. And obviously, you know, the idea of perhaps getting a full-on normal armor set in game is also very cool, but I think the DLC is what allows them to go above and beyond the way they have with the amount that's actually in here. So I'm just going to play the video, then you can see what it brings, and I will go through the actual list of stuff after we've watched the trailer. Woo! Is that a skull? He's wearing a skull. Driller's wearing a skull. There you go, Skullcrusher pack. You probably have noticed a lot of things, but let's go through the list first of all. So obviously it's going to release on the day of the anniversary. For console, it might, but this stuff usually takes at least a couple days. It'll probably be less than a week before we get it on console, but it's usually not on the day. Anyway, so the Skullcrusher clan is best known among dwarves for brewing the refreshing Skullcrusher ale. But the family carries the name for good reason. They say this ancestral armour still echoes with the call of the war horn, and yearns to be worn into battle once more. Leave no dwarf behind, and no skull uncrushed. This DLC includes the following. The Skullcrusher armour framework for all 4 classes. 2 Skullcrusher helmets for all classes, a half mask and a full face version, as pictured here. Skullcrusher armour paint job for all armour sets, Skullcrusher weapon paint job, Skullcrusher pickaxe paint job, and Bosco framework and Bosco paint job. Obviously all pictured along the way. I mean, and of course, I'm sure you noticed when playing the trailer, these skins are animated. They have this animated runic effect that sort of flashes through the body of the weapon or the armour, and it's so cool. I do wonder how that translates to other paint jobs though, because as you can tell from the weapons, that's clearly a part of the paint job. So I don't know if when it comes to the armour, changing the paint job on this armour, what effect that will have on the animated element, we'll just have to wait and see. But I do know this kind of rules. I really like all of them. But I think people are going to be especially happy with what's going on here with Gunner and Driller. I mean, Gunner is just ridiculous, right? I mean, this is absurd. So yeah, it is kind of weird to get a DLC kind of out of the blue. Not out of the blue in the sense of, it's not surprising that they would do something special for the anniversary, but because Deep Rock is literally on hiatus at the moment. So getting a DLC is a weird thing, and we will talk about it, of course, on Saturday. But it's interesting, but you need to keep in mind, this is the kind of thing that they are always going to be capable of. You know, we're not going to get a Deep Rock update out of the blue, but the art department can just sort of pivot to work on a DLC, especially that's what people don't often, or sometimes, I shouldn't use the word often, but sometimes people don't realise that a paid DLC can make it so that work gets done a lot faster, and because it gets a lot of priority, right? This is why, let's say, for example, Rocore had ended up being a paid expansion. We would obviously have had it by now because it would have been the only thing they were working on. They wouldn't have to think about DRG updates. They wouldn't have to think about Rocore as its own game. Things being paid DLC usually means they get done quicker because there is a financial incentive there. It's basically extra paid. It's paid work, but it's being paid for even more. So that's why it makes more sense for them to do this than to add the armor set for free. That wouldn't make a lot of sense. It would probably bring more people back to the game, but I don't think they're going to make an armor set with the intention of like creating Deep Rock resurgence. They're probably just hoping that the people who are still playing it will appreciate this opportunity to get like probably what is just damn near the coolest armor ever. I think Scout isn't the best. It's still really cool, but maybe Scout's the only one who is like not his best armor set. As in the rest of them is pretty much like their best armor they've ever had. That's why I put this thing in S tier. I'm assuming it's going to be the same price as the Order of the Deep, which was £8.99, which is slightly more expensive than the others, and I think that is because it includes the boss code framework. That I think that is the generalized justification, and it might just be like an internal price hike on DLCs for one reason or another. But that's kind of where we're at now. But I think putting in S tier still makes sense because clearly me and Tyler had a discussion over DMs about this. Clearly, we kind of just agree that it's better than Order of the Deep. So, and Order of the Deep's in A tier. So yeah. Anyway, let's I guess get through the rest of the proceedings. But obviously, there's not really much to say. This is going to be the hat for the 7th anniversary that you'll get from doing the main assignment, which is of course called Nothing. It didn't actually say the name, so I can't really give you that much information. Also, look at this fuck-ass paint job. I don't think this is teasing anything. If it is, my balls would explode, but this isn't possible. This is Driller Mark III with like Scout's like Mark 1 armor paint job on it or some shit. This isn't even possible in game, and I don't think it's teasing anything. I will still hold that if it is somehow, whatever. Let's just move on. Of course, double XP on the job, so there'll be a double performance point bonus that you'll get for collecting a trophy that looks like this, that you'll just find in the caves. That's how it normally goes. Free beer for all, so this is the craft beer, so this is Oily Oath, Glyphid Slammer, and Leaf Lover Special will all be free during the anniversary event, and of course we get some random decorations. But let's talk about the live stream a little bit. So of course we don't have the schedule yet, and I think that probably will be its own video. But of course, next week, so this is on the day, February 27th, as it says, starting at 2 p.m, so for us it's starting at 1 p.m. GMT. So when they do the anniversary live stream, this just includes sort of general sort of celebratory proceedings, so you can sort of do some just sort of live, like funny stuff, like a Q&A as well, but they also always show something of note to do with the future of the franchise in this case. So let's just read this part as it is. Every year we also mark DRG's birthday with a special live stream from the GSG crew. And you guessed it, we're doing it again. Wow. We hope you'll join us right after the event launches on February 27th at 14 o'clock Central Eastern Time for a cozy live stream from us to you. Some years are bigger than others, and to manage expectations, we're not going to be revealing anything groundbreaking here, but we will have some special guests and we'll be going live to reminisce on the years that have gone by, the path ahead, and of course to answer questions from you lovely folk. So again, that's Thursday. Yep, we got the time. Anyway, so yeah. We will, of course, be live streaming this ourselves, the live commentary for the live stream. And I think it's fair to say, to tell people to manage expectations, but I wouldn't, when you look at the previous On the Horizons, which an On the Horizon live stream is really meant to give a proper in-depth developer update and actually show stuff off, I wouldn't consider that groundbreaking. But they did show a lot of Roadcore footage. The first time you really saw Roadcore in a active state, basically. So I think I don't think there'll be any huge reveals. I don't think we'll get like a release date or anything like that, or like some weird like out of the blue Deep Rock update. I don't think anything like that's going to happen, but we'll probably see some road core stuff, some just sort of updated things. Nothing crazy still. They're not going to show us like boss fights or like a full run or anything like that, but I'm sure we'll see some stuff. And I do know actually from the live stream today, the normal dev live stream, although it was a kind of a road core Q&A today, they will actually be posting an updated roadmap during this. But I do kind of pontificate, if you'll allow me to use such a pretentious word, at how different it can really be from the last one, because the last roadmap was really just a Ghost Ship Publishing roadmap outlining when all their games would be either going 1.0 or in early access or closed alphas or things like that. Some of the updates for games that are going to get updates like DRG Survivor or Spell Rogue. Rogue Core was on there, of course, with the closed alpha and the actual early access launch. And obviously, like Season 6, right, to be planned after Rogue Core. I don't really know how much could really have changed. The one thing we can really hope for is probably like a more precise release window for the closed alpha. But that's probably so I'll be interested to see how different that roadmap is from the previous one. Either way, that's the 7th anniversary covered. Of course, getting a new DLC is not something anyone expected, so that's also really cool in and of itself. We'll be sure to, we'll see. We'll probably do a gameplay live stream on Friday. I can't guarantee that, but it is quite likely. But what there will be is a DLC showcase. As soon as I get my hands on it, there will be a full DLC showcase, so you can wait and see that. If you're wondering about buying it, I will show it in as much detail as possible. I do have every cosmetic in the game at this point, and therefore we'll have every cosmetic in the game for a while, right? So I'll pretty much show it with every single weapon framework, every single armor paint job on the armor itself, vice versa, that armor paint job on every single armor. Show off a bunch of helmets, not every helmet, I just shuffle through the helmets. Show off boss coat and the pickaxe and all that stuff. So just keep an eye out for that, and as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this or found it useful, please make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to see more videos like this and stay on top of everything to do Deep Rock and Road Core, I mean that's what this is, then also click the bell, and we'll see you on Saturday. Or rather, I'll see you tonight actually.